What's poppin'? Hope you guys are doing okay. I'm back with another video as usual. So today's topic I want to talk about like keeping your mouth shut, like shush it. And today's word is being sponsored by Proverbs chapter 21 verse 23, okay? And I'm gonna read it, so let's get into it. So here we go. He who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from calamity. Now, before I dive into anything, I want to use an example of Jesus. When Jesus was performing all these miracles, healing the sick, casting out evil spirits from people, like all that. The pattern that was, according to the Bible, when you look at the pattern, after Jesus did all these miracles, all he said to these people was, "Go, but do not tell anyone what I have done." Why? Because Jesus knew. Imagine people hearing, as much as yes, later they heard about it and they plotted to kill him. Now, you see, because they were threatened, So, Jesus also knew to be private. And I feel like he set an example for us. He's like, when you do something, don't necessarily just go and yap. Keep it to yourself. So I believe that particular verse is self-explanatory, if you guard your mouth and your tongue, you will save yourself from calamity, because your mouth is through your mouth you're able to reveal to people what is going on in your life, or what you're planning to do, or what God is doing in your life, what he's doing through you as well, So we should really learn to guard our mouths and our tongues, because let's just be honest, in this era there's a lot of jealousy and envy among people. And you know what jealousy and envy can do, people don't want to hear good news. Everyone wants to hear that you're not doing well, you're suffering. As much as everyone undergoes struggles, when things are going good, or when you have good news, no one wants to hear that, because as I told you guys, seasons. One person might be in a season where they're not contented, or they're not happy with what is happening, or they're not comfortable, but when you come along and then you're you have good news and whatnot, this person is not gonna take it, is not gonna applaud you from the deepest bottom of their hearts. On the surface they might look like they're happy for you and they're supporting you and all of that, but deep down inside, they're why is this happening to her and not me? That's why it is so important to keep your mouth shut, shush it. Don't tell people what is happening. Keep it to yourself, unless maybe things have already worked out, the things that you're expecting or you're working on have worked out, and you're 100% sure that nothing is gonna change, then you can share. But if something is still an infant, if an idea is still an infant, or if you're working on something and you're still trying to build it up from the ground, keep it to yourself, be private until it actually happens, people, as much as it's not always the physical. People don't always target to sabotage you physically, but that is what happens majority of the time. But most of the time it's intentional, the intention behind those feelings, because let's say, for example, you have applied for a job, right? Then before you even receive that call for an interview or whatever, you know what, all those things that happen, you go around and start telling people that, you know, I applied for a job, I applied for this job and this job, you know. On the outside, that person might tell you, you know, I'm happy for you, I hope you get it and whatnot, but inside they're like, I hope she doesn't get that job, or I hope, you know, like until maybe I get a job so that we can have jobs together, you know. And that is an intent, you know. Life is spiritual, so the evil intentions and the evil eyes might actually do something to sabotage that job that you applied for. And then at the end of it, you don't receive a call for an interview, or you go for an interview and you fail. Like, it's not, this doesn't necessarily mean like majority of the time when this happens it's like people but I'm telling you, like, there's that spiritual wave that can sabotage your plans before they even happen. Like, why do you think sometimes when you share something before it matures, you, like, majority of the time the thing you've shared ends up not happening? Just think about it. You know, so God tells us, guard your tongue, guard your mouth, and, you know, you'll save yourself from a lot of calamity, you know, because, like, bruh, as much as we want to think, oh, people are always wishing us well, like, not everyone is wishing you well, you know, especially when someone is seeing you progress more than them. They will do things to sabotage. Please just keep things to yourself, be private, move in silence, and share your good news when the eggs have actually hatched, you know? Yeah. That's my message for today. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Stay blessed. Adios.